Speaking on recruiting, I know you just kind of sort of just touched on it, but it says, what are 3 keys for South Carolina to become as successful in recruiting as you were under your tenure? Are there 3 things you could point out, or just a couple of things of what they need to do to become as successful as you guys were when you were here and reeling in those great classes?
I think number 1, again, you've got to be straight up with kids, and especially now with the internet. I mean, when I first started coaching, you could tell a kid something, and he may never find out the truth, till he got here. I mean, that sounds sad to say,
right.
But you got to be straight up with kids, and tell them the truth. And then number 2, again, develop kids. There's
right.
3 parts of recruiting.
Right.
There's the evaluation, there's the recruiting part, and then there's the development part. And if you fail any 3 of those, you're going to end up with a bad team. And so, but the 3 things, again, be straight up with kids, because if you are, you're going to win the high school coaches in the state. If you tell a kid something that's not going to happen, you're going to lose that coach. You're going to lose that school. And you're going to lose it for a long time.
Trust is everything, I'd imagine, just like anything else.
And then, again, developing kids, developing players, and just, do not discount the state of South Carolina. There's really good players in this state. There always have been. And a lot of times I think some coaches, kind of said, we're going somewhere else. You got to go somewhere else, because, we always used to use a 5-hour radius, around Columbia. That's our recruiting area. Well, you go 5 hours away from Columbia, you're going to hit the Atlantic Ocean. Eventually, there aren't any players there. So then you got to push yourself up into North Carolina. You got to say North Carolina is like South Carolina. It's the same state.
Yeah.
You got to look at it that way. You can't. Look at the players that have come here from the state of North Carolina over the years that have been great players.
I know Pharaoh Cooper is one of your favorite. We talked about him
before.
I
recruited Pharaoh out of Havelock.
That's
and in fact, there was a kid on that team that I had committed coming here. And when I left, they backed off of him, and the Vickers kid, and he went to Kevin Vickers. He went to Tennessee and started 3 years.
Yeah, that name sounds very familiar.
Why they backed off him, I have no idea. But I left, and I don't know if it was out of spite or whatever.
Right.
But there's enough good players in that state that want to play in the SEC. And South Carolina is a great option for them. And it's a great, it's a heck of a dang, environment. If you can get a kid to come down here and go to a game in Williams-Brice Stadium, you got a chance to get him.
Right.
Because, the environment here, in my opinion, is as good as it gets.
Yeah. And, of course, Shane's got that advantage now with us getting past last year. And we saw it in the month of June. We talk recruiting, and I guess I had you on a couple months before that, but Shane Beamer in June, 12 commitments. I don't know if you were keeping an eye on it, but have you ever heard of such a thing? 12 commits in a month. They were doing some work on the recruiting trail. They were killing it.
Working hard.
Yeah.
And I didn't exactly know it was 12 or whatever, but and the other part of it is now, did you make a good evaluation? Because if anybody go recruit a kid,
right.
But did you make a good evaluation? Now go develop the kid. But if you don't develop them, they're just a can of corn.
Right.